Hello, fellow internet dwellers. This is Lego Jackman, and you're watching the review of set number 9464, the Monster Fighters Vampyre Hearse from 2012, with 314 pieces, 3 minifigures, and originally retailing for $35 before in 2012. But nowadays, it is going to be around $34 used, or about $56 sealed. I got this one for $37 without instructions or box. It was complete, so maybe I paid a little more, but I did get this set along with a couple other ones. So as long as I get them all together, then it's better than having to buy them cheaper, but from multiple different stores. Let's take a look at the bike here first. This bike is ridden by Dr. Rodney Rathbone, the most common monster fighter in all these monster fighter sets. He's in this set. This would be the cheapest way to get him. He's also in the Crazy Scientist and his monster, as well as the Vampire Castle set. He's rocking this really awesome motorcycle that has printed gray lines. I've never seen a bike with prints on them. It's really awesome rocket boosters on the sides, a stick of dynamite. Just a really cool looking bike here. Now, in the original mood video for the Monster Fighters theme, this bike was ridden by Frank Rock, but in this set, it's ridden by Dr. Rodney Rathbone, and I feel like that would make sense, at least for this set, because Rodney Rathbone's the main monster fighter versus the main villain of the theme, Lord Vampire, so it makes sense to have them together. But that is the bike. Then moving on to the actual hearse itself, this thing is very large compared to a standard Lego car. Let me get an example. Here's a police car from the 2008 police station, and I would say this is a minifigure scale car. You can see that it is about a half of the size of this hearse. Lego vehicles, specifically cars, are always not consistent in terms of scale. They're always either really small or ginormous, and this is an example of a set that is ginormous. Let's start from the front. Really cool looking front here. We got these vampire teeth and I don't know what this would be in real life, probably turn lights. Those could look like eyes for the teeth. And then we get the bat moonstone, looking really awesome here as kind of like the hood ornament. We also have a giant supercharger or turbocharger, not really sure what that's called, with a bunch of bones on the side. It really gives the hearse kind of a hot rod aesthetic. This car is kind of a mix between a hot rod and a hearse, which is a pretty funny mix-up. Moving towards the cabin area, we have this really awesome sticker. It is glow-in-the-dark, and I can show off the glow-in-the-dark in a little bit, but there's the Lord Vampire face on there that with a bunch of flames is kind of like hair and part of the head. There's also a bunch of lamps in the front, and then the lid comes off very easily. And this is kind of what I was talking about in my Crazy Scientist and his monster review, is that car had 6 studs in the front to connect the lid to, but nothing in the back. You see, in this one, there's only these 2 studs. Now, maybe there should have been 2 more here to have a little more secure connection, but this is what I mean by having a loose but secure connection for these roofs of the cars, because it makes it super easy to pop on and pop off when you're ready to put minifigures inside. Inside of the cabin area, we have the zombie driver. Probably the cheapest minifigure of everything because he was in a poly bag. There inside, you have a lot of space. Just space for 2 minifigures, but they definitely have a lot of room for each person. Now, moving on to the back, where in a real hearse, there would be the coffin. And there is also a coffin in here. We have this really awesome, like, these teeth that are used as kind of like, I don't know the words, like a curtain kind of look. And that looks really awesome. With this window piece that I don't think I've ever seen. It's probably been used a bunch, but I've never seen it. And then moving on to the back here, we have some more kind of vampire teeth with the break and turn signals. And then we have a kind of a neat little look into the back here. Now, I never knew what the feature of this set was until I built it. And it is very interesting. So the top of the back of the hearse opens up, and that will reveal the coffin inside. Now, you can have Lord Vampyre. Of course, he doesn't come with the cape, but that is because it's to make it easier to put him in there. And then you have the front of the coffin here with the bat logo. And it's kind of hard to put it in. I guess you can fit it. But it can really easily come out, just like that. So here's the coffin for Lord Vampyre. We'll take a look at the minifigures in just a second. But that will go in here. Now, this is a bit awkward because all these pieces can be turned. So maybe adding a 2x4 plate on there could have been a little helpful, but maybe that's not there because it's too, like, it would be too high up. So you kind of have to just, like, wiggle around the coffin until you find the right spot. And this would be a good way to display the set if you wanted the lid on, but in order for the main play feature to work, you have to take the lid off. So once you've taken the lid off and you've put in Lord Vampyre inside of the coffin, you can close it up, and this is the main play feature. So what you do is these Technic teeth, I would call them, are attached to the coffin. Basically, all you do is you flip it like this. Now, looks like he's getting stuck somehow. This is an odd sort of feature. He's got to be pretty loose in there, but basically, you fling it. That pops the coffin up, which then kind of slides on the bottom of this roof here with these curved pieces. And that pushes the lid up and the coffin out, which if you have a figure in there, such as, of course, Lord Vampyre, is going to launch him. Now, I don't understand why you would need that to be a feature of your hearse. I mean, unless you're gonna, like, crash or something, and then you're gonna need a quick getaway. But that is really the main play feature of this set. Very odd. And now let's take a look at the minifigures. The first minifigure we have here is Lord Vampyre himself. Now, he does not come with his cape, which is a bit unfortunate, but it kind of makes sense. This is also the cheaper version of, or the cheaper way to get this minifigure, so it would make sense for the larger set to have everything. He's got this nice, like, I would say Joker hairpiece in black. Also the face there with the fangs sticking out, and then a back face print there with his mouth open, and that's the one that I would say matches the top of the car there. He also has a little gold stopwatch in like a classic vampire torso with like a tie and all the three-piece suit. Kind of a waistcoat that goes beneath the hips. And then on the back, there's just like the back of a waistcoat. And this figure also is glow in the dark. So let's take a look at that. Just turning off my main light here, you can see that it is definitely glow in the dark. Now, this set is 8 years old. I bought it used, so the glow in the dark is not doing that well. But you can definitely tell it is glow in the dark. You just need to charge it up by holding it up to a light. But that is the Lord Vampire minifigure. Oh yeah, also he comes with this nice sword. The next minifigure here is the Zombie Driver. Very cool minifigure. I love all the rips in his uniform. He's also got the zombie head. I believe this is the really common zombie head that is used like in the mansion build and stuff like that. He's also, this minifigure is in a poly bag in this set and in the zombies set. Some more rips, and there's his face. He's got like rotting teeth, and then I also like that he has like one glove and then one of the gloves is missing. So that is the Zombie Driver minifigure. And the last minifigure is Dr. Rodney Rathbone. He is the same as he is in the other two sets. He also comes in the Crazy Scientist and his monster, as well as Lord Vampire's castle. So I'm not going to go much into detail with him since I've already reviewed those sets. Or at least I've reviewed one of them so far, and I will review the other one in a little bit. He's got the robotic leg, the stopwatch, the giant forehead if you take off his hat, and the giant mutton chops with the suit and tie. So that is Dr. Rodney Rathbone. Here is how I display the set. I did modify my Crazy Scientist and his monster set as I suggested in the review for that set. I replaced this tile there so that it can be opened, and that allowed me to put the hearse in front of it right beside the car from this set. So it looks pretty good. I would say it's probably a better match against this car, but even this car is shorter than this one. No, this one is shorter than this one. So Lord Vampire has definitely got the best vehicle in terms of all of the sets in the Monster Fighters line. I guess the biggest vehicle. There's one more vehicle that I would say is even cooler than this set. In terms of where to put it with the actual castle, there isn't really any space. I guess if you move this guy backwards, there would be some like a parking space in between, so you could display it like that. But this is how I do it, and once I get the ghost train, it's gonna go over here to complete all of the Monster Fighter sets. Closing thoughts for this set is it's very awesome. For originally $35 and now what I paid $37, I think this is a pretty decent set. There's not a lot to complain about. It's got a really unique function to it that I would never have expected until seeing a video or building it. These fuselage kind of engine things are pretty flimsy, but I mean that's probably from old age. It's a really nice looking car. Again, I really like the fact that it's kind of a mix between like a hot rod and a like a hearse, and just the size of it makes it look even cooler. So that is my review for the Monster Fighters Vampyre Hearse set number 9464. If you did enjoy, maybe consider leaving a like, and if you've enjoyed a lot of my videos, then maybe consider subscribing. That is all for my review. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.